This is Samsung's S23 Ultra, and after a long struggle of being caught between convenience and full-featured phones, the decision was finally made this year. I'm embarking on an adventure with Samsung's S23 Ultra. In this video, I'm going to tell you what made me want to switch and whether or not maybe you should too. Don't get me wrong, Apple makes a good phone and they make an amazing ecosystem in which all the devices talk to each other and work really well with each other, but Apple limits you in more ways than I care to mention in this video. Before we go any further, a like and a sub to the channel would be very much appreciated. We've only been doing this for about 3 months now and you guys are absolutely crushing it. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every single one of you for watching. Anyways, I have had an amazing experience with the S23 Ultra and it certainly impressed me in every way. Originally, my plan was to keep using an iPhone device for my primary phone, but now I'm leaning much more towards using the S23 Ultra as my primary phone. To start off, I'm enjoying the seriously impressive battery life this phone has to offer. The 13 Pro Max I'm currently using at this point barely gets me through the day. iPhones are widely known or have been known to get the best battery life. Despite this though, iPhone users who have been using the 14 Pro Max and the S23 Ultra side by side are all pretty much saying the same thing. The S23 Ultra is beating the iPhone in terms of battery life. And that's largely due to the beast of an SoC they put in the S23 Ultra. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is just so efficient, it somehow managed to rival the iPhone, which is pretty much universally known to have the best battery life. But I can confidently say you can rest assured knowing that the S23 Ultra will get you through a whole day without even breaking a sweat. The always-on display isn't the battery hog people make it out to be either. Though I only have the date and time shown, but still my always-on display only uses about 10% of battery every 24 hours. Though to me, the only real point in having the always-on display is being able to glance at the time or date when you just have your phone laying on a table or something. And that's not all. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 I mentioned earlier also makes powerful multitasking features easier than ever before. Being able to get more done in less time, giving us an even bigger benefit when we're working, scrolling Twitter or YouTube, or just to take notes easier. It's just a breath of fresh air knowing you're not restricted to just one task at a time. The possibilities with this are truly endless. Unfortunately, the iPhone doesn't offer similar multitasking options, which really limits functionality despite having an incredibly powerful SoC underneath it. Apple is just delaying their multitasking for the iPhone way too long in my opinion. They already have a decent solution on the iPad, so why not just bring something similar to the iPhone? As well, recent rumors suggest Apple's focus may move towards the virtual reality or augmented reality headset sooner rather than later. And iOS 17 might fail to deliver any major updates at all. Thus, this opinion about multitasking on an iPhone may not change anytime soon. If Apple doesn't have something huge up their sleeve, they will gradually continue to lose more and more people to Samsung. By no means am I saying Apple is going to lose everyone, far from it actually, but there will be some here and there, and I'm seeing more and more every day go to Samsung because Apple is just delaying their features. Another thing that really sets the S23 Ultra experience apart from its competitors is the S Pen. Whether you need to quickly annotate a screenshot or sign some documents, or just snap a remote photo using the S Pen, heck, you can even use this thing to control YouTube or turn the volume up and down, or play and pause. It's just super useful, and the fact that so many people call it a gimmick is just mind-blowing to me. Moving on with the S23 Ultra, you have access to Android 13 and One UI 5.1, unlocking a world of possibilities for customization. Goodlock lets you personalize your icon skins with theme part, as well as screen layouts, and you're allowed to customize your keyboard and your control center, even making sure everything matches up with the device's wallpaper if that's something that you're into. It may not be groundbreaking tech, but it definitely gives us a spark of excitement when we want to get creative with how our phones look and feel. Having such a wide range of options when it comes to customization means that you can stand out as much as you like. And to be honest, even if you want to do something as simple as copying someone else's theme, you can do it. You can do it. That's just not something you hear on the Apple side of things too much. If you hear that, it's a question. You can do that? No, you can't? Why? Because it's not added as a feature yet. Wait 5 or 6 more years and then we'll talk. Hardware is also a critical component when it comes to smartphones, and the S23 Ultra definitely shines here as well. Not only does it feel super premium in the hand, but its display isn't too curved like some other models out there. No matter what kind of content you're viewing on screen, no distortions will be there. Just perfect visuals that provide an enjoyable user experience. I think everyone knows at this point, Samsung really knows how to make a good display panel, and playing games on this thing is one of the most pleasant experiences I have had in a long time when it comes to mobile gaming. The colors are seriously just so bright, they seem to almost pop right out of the screen. The contrast when it comes to the brighter parts of the screen and the deep blacks that OLED gives you, if I had to describe it in one word, I would say crispy. And it goes without saying, the 120Hz screen makes scrolling look buttery smooth, and it makes games look way smoother as well. It's no surprise that iOS and Android differ in many ways, another difference being their navigation features. The lack of customization when it comes to navigation options on the iPhone can be disappointing, yet with an Android device you have a range of customization choices, from gestures to buttons to one-handed operations, plus it's crazy. iPhones may have the best hardware, but they really limit users' ability to get stuff done. One of the pros to an iPhone is you can trust it will work no matter what, which almost makes up for all the ways Apple takes away from our usability experience. Spending over $1,000 for a phone shouldn't be just about the specs. You should want something that is personalized and tailored to your lifestyle and your taste. Too often, Apple has left us with little ways of customizing our smartphones. However, their recent lock screen update was a great step in the right direction when it comes to personalization. iPhone users can now change color palettes and they have a little bit more customization when it comes to the lock screen, but it's still nowhere near the Samsung. Even though flat displays have been popular since Apple's iPhone 12 series, they can sometimes prove difficult to hold due to their size, especially if the phone is rather large. However, with the S23 Ultra, the comfort when it comes to navigation is really good, demonstrated by the excellent one-handed usability features specific to Androids. And don't even get me started on one-handed operations plus, it's just so good, and you can do pretty much whatever you want when it comes to customizing how you navigate your phone. When it comes to handling file formats, working with data from the S23 Ultra is a breeze. I find it's easier across the board with Android. It's quite annoying, and I'm not even quite sure it's possible to download or pull certain things from the Apple ecosystem, one of which being photos. At least on Android, when you take a photo, you can easily download it on really anything straight from Google Photos. And while we are on the topic of file formats, we can't go without saying Lightning in and of itself is extremely limiting when it comes to transfer speeds. The same thing can't be said about USB-C, since it's just got a way higher bandwidth speed as far as transfer speeds go, and charging speeds too. Which leads me into my next point, and don't worry, I'll make this really quick. There's been so many times where I've had to take a power bank with me or rely on my car to charge my iPhone because my iPhone can't charge quick enough. Most of the time when I get home from work, my iPhone's at like 10%. So when I plug it up and go take a shower and I head back out again, that short amount of time is only enough to bring it up to around 30%. On the Samsung, you could get over double that. Also, being able to reverse wireless charge something like earbuds is just really convenient if you say forget to charge them. Leaving the Apple ecosystem isn't without its challenges though. I'll need to find alternatives for AirDrop, and that's really all now that I think about it. I don't really rely on my iPhone for too much as far as features go. So if you are thinking about switching, I would say go for it. Even if you are deeply invested, for example, say MacBook. iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch. You can always just pick up the Samsung and see if it's going to be doable for you to switch everything over. Otherwise, you can always just return the phone. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.